श्री विवेक इंद्र कुमार जैन द्वारा शुरू किया गया एक छोटा सा इनिशिएटिव इंश्योरेंस अलर्ट्स आज एक विशाल मूवमेंट में तब्दील हो चुका है। भारत के कोने कोने से हजारों इंश्योरेंस एजेंट्स, इंश्योरेंस प्रोफेशनल्स सभी हर सुबह इंश्योरेंस अलर्ट्स के समाचार और शाम को उनके न्यूज़लेटर्स की राह देखते रहते हैं। मतलब 2 साल में ये इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा और एशिया का दूसरा सबसे बड़ा डेडिकेटेड इंश्योरेंस न्यूज़ प्लेटफॉर्म बन चुका है। और अब अगर इसी रफ्तार से चीजें चलती रही तो वो दिन बिल्कुल दूर नहीं जब पूरी दुनिया में सर्वश्रेष्ठ बन जाएगा।
Welcome to Insurance Alert Broadcast. I am Vivek Jain here. Today we have with us Mr. Prashant Sharma, Chief Investment Officer, Star Union Dai-ichi Life Insurance Company, and we are going to find out from him what is the wish list of insurance industry, especially of life insurance companies. So let's talk to him. Sir, what are your expectations from the budget which is scheduled for 1st of February from the Honorable Finance Minister?
Mr. Jain, at a very, very high level, what I would want to highlight, and of course we are all aware of that, it's been a very, very tough year for everybody over the last 9, 10, 12 months. So what has happened is the economy has taken a nosedive for the last, especially in the first few months of the COVID hitting India. It's now recovering well, but on the whole, it's been a tough year from a economy perspective. We'll end up in a negative territory after several decades. So on the whole, I would say, given that the economy has gone through a very, very tough time over the last 10, 12 months, the first focus should be on reviving growth. Yes, there are other concerns about fiscal, etc., but the finance minister and the prime minister should now be looking at reviving growth in a very, very significant manner, because there is a large section of people in India, across the world, in fact, whose livelihoods have got affected over the last 10 to 12 months. So the basic premise of the budget should be to ensure that the economy gets revived. And in some sense, I would argue that there should be some tax rationalization across the board, not only for a few sections, but perhaps across the board, so that there is more money available in the hands of people, which they can choose either to spend, which will boost consumption, or to save, which obviously helps in going in the productive sector and boosting the economy from a longer term perspective. So I would say, ideally speaking, this is one extraordinary year where concerns on fiscal, etc., should be sidelined for the time being. And the only focus should be on reviving growth, and which kind of drives people income and people start feeling better. So it's more about, as our previous Prime Minister used to say, reviving animal spirits. People are generally down, feeling low and down, and their incomes have been affected. So something should be done to ensure that there is more enthusiasm in people, and some sort of tax rationalization should help in every possible way. There are a number of things which they could do for the insurance sector in general and life insurance sector in particular. First and foremost, this crisis has highlighted that social security is very, very important. And both life insurance, health insurance do provide a huge degree of social security to people. So I think the government should incentivize people to buy more of life insurance and health insurance, I would say. And there should be some relaxation in terms of the exemption that is available for insurance. For example, the current exemption limits in ATC, ATD, etc., are too low, and they are not sufficient enough for somebody to build a good retirement kitty. So I would say savings should be promoted, and a higher incentive should be given in terms of higher exemption. Maybe perhaps we've been talking about that for a few years. Maybe have a separate section for insurance in terms of exemption, so that people feel incentivized and they save, which obviously goes in helping the nation itself. Because when people feel more secure, on the whole, people feel more confident, and they are generally, they take decisions better compared to when they have some sort of uncertainty and fears attached in their minds. So exemption, higher exemption could be one, which is something which we should certainly, I would hope the finance minister looks at. Then I would say in India, the penetration of insurance, especially on the protection side, is very, very low. And if we have a very high GST rate on protection, which is 18% right now, I think again on the same lines of social security, life insurance is a big security to most families. So if the pure protection GST rate could come down from current 18% to 8, 10, 12%, that will help, because people will opt more for protection, maybe higher protection cover compared to what they're doing today because of the higher GST involved. So these are some things which in some sense are I would call low hanging fruits, which should certainly be looked at. Then there is this whole story about rationalizing taxation on annuities. For example, again, annuities and pension is again a very, very important saving and social security for people. Currently, the annuity is taxable for everybody. I would argue we could look at exempting annuity for first 25,000 rupees per month. Right now, every rupee is taxable. So first 25,000 could be tax-free, irrespective of the tax bracket of the person. So I'm saying everybody should feel secure about at least he will get 25,000 tax-free every month. So this could be considered. And then simplifying rules around pension. There are currently a number of exemptions and rules around pension. They could be clubbed into one. And the rules could be simplified in the sense that, for example, in certain annuity schemes, the entire amount gets taxable, whereas which includes both the principal component and the interest component. So our recommendation would be that only the interest component gets taxed and not the principal component as well. So then, in addition to that, there are long-held demands in terms of increasing FDI in the insurance sector, which will bring in long-term patient capital into the country, and a lot of foreign insurance players would be more than happy to put in more money. The sector has started maturing a little bit, and hence people are the foreign players are very, very excited about being for participating in this sector for the long term. So FDI could be looked at, and as I said, a lot of foreign players would be more than happy to provide that capital. In some sense, India should take advantage of lower rates, lower interest rates, lower returns in the rest of the world, especially the Western world. And the foreign players are actually wondering where to put money to use. So India could be a great market, and I think a lot should be done in this budget to ensure more and more money comes in, either through FDI insurance, but also in several other sectors. So this is again a very, very low hanging fruit in my view. There is money waiting to come in. We should let the money come in. So as I said, there are a number of things that we could talk about, but net, it is more about reviving growth and incentivizing people to buy more of insurance, which is the need of the hour, both life as well as health. And people have realized this in the last 10, 12 months, that how important this security is.
Good. You think this government is more in favor of insurance than the previous governments were?
So it's very difficult to say whether, and to be fair, it's not right to compare because everybody is operating under different environments. But this government has been very, very mindful of the needs of the insurance sector in general.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, they understand what is required. The only issue is they are more often than not trying to balance out the budget objectives, because at one end there is tax rationalization, money coming in, those kind of considerations, but at the same time there are fiscal considerations. But as I said, these are extraordinary times, and as the rest of the world has kind of deferred or pushed aside the fiscal issues for the time being and trying to revive their economies through monetary and fiscal stimuli, I think India should also consider that, given that we are recovering from a very, very tough period and people do need that extra bit of confidence and money in their hands. So I would say this is the opportunity where this government can probably strike really big, because while we have done extremely well on the COVID situation compared to a number of other countries, the The cases in India are very well controlled, despite being a very, very tough country to manage from a size perspective. So I would argue India has done extremely well on the COVID front, but obviously it's taken a cost. The cost has been on the economic side. So, and this budget is probably the right platform for the country to come out of this so-called tough economic conditions in a significant way. So my hope would be that the finance minister and the government in general provide that impetus to the economy through this budget.
Well, sir, thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you very much, sir.
And
I hope
yeah.
And I hope there is some tax rationalization for you and me as well.
That is what we all actually personally need.
Yeah. So as I said, the rationalization should be across the board for because different people will spend or save in different ways. So, and in some sense, everybody needs a little bit of that extra money in their hands to revive the economy. So if the rationalization does not come, I hope there is no negative surprise. So one is the rationalization, two is a negative surprise. So I hope there's no negative surprise at least.
Great, sir. Thank you very much again for your time. And maybe after the budget, I can be in touch with you for your reactions.
So we'll discuss.
Okay. Perfect. So after the budget on 1st, I'll get in touch with you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Namaste.
Bye-bye. Namaste.
Want to see the best videos of insurance industry and interviews with the CEOs, CMOs, COOs, CDOs of insurance companies, brokers, TPAs. There's only one way you can look it up to. That is Insurance Alerts broadcast channel on YouTube. So you better subscribe to our channel, you visit and get notified with all of our new videos on insurance.